Hello there, people of the internet. I've done some math and I'm quite impressed with what I've come up with. I have some 308 ammunition here that I've got loaded up, and if I were to do things properly, I could hand load 308 for 10 cents a shot. Now, hear me out whenever I talk about this. I'm sure a lot of people are going to go, who cares about that, the way that you do it? But hear me out, because 10 cents a shot, that's pretty groundbreaking, considering that 308, if you can find like surplus 7.62 NATO, is like 75 cents a shot after taxes and whatnot. And if you're looking for commercial grade stuff, it's like $1 a round nowadays. So 10 cents a shot, that's quite the big deal. So what do I got going on here? If you've been watching the channel for any real length of time, you know that I've been playing around with homemade gunpowder. And on these cartridges, I got different variations of powder weight inside of them. In this particular case, I got 57 grains inside of this 308 round, and etc., etc. For the most part, most of what I have is 57 grains. Now, this gunpowder that I have it's black powder, and I make it at home for about $3 for a pound. Now, that being said, that equates to, let's see here, $3 for a pound. There's 7,000 grains inside of a pound. Let's say I'm using 50 grain charges. That's what, 150 or so rounds that I can get from that $3. So that equated to, I think, like 6 cents or maybe 3 cents, or either way, it was not very much. The total cost of all this came out to about 10 cents. Now, if I were to cast my own bullets, which I do not currently do, and I'm definitely going to start just because of that additional cost saving, if I were to cast my own bullets and I were to cast them out of lead, I could get a pound of lead for approximately $3 as well. Probably a little bit cheaper, but after shipping and taxes and things like that, approximately $3 for just a pound of raw lead. And I'll probably use raw lead because it's black powdering. I'm not going to be sending these very fast anyway, and I clean my guns regularly anyway, so I won't have to worry about leading or lead fouling or whatever it is that it's called. But anyway, if I were to get myself a $3 pound of lead and cast 150 grain bullets from it, I could get approximately, I can't remember, but I do know that the cost of that was also not very much. And I also reload my own primers, and I do that using little cap gun rolls, like those old paper cap gun rolls. I can get this one I have memorized. I can get 1,200 shots of those cap gun rolls for $6, which is significantly less than the primers that you get off the market. And those cap gun rolls ignite black powder extremely well. Not so reliable with smokeless powder, but it's reliable enough for a gun range or an emergency situation if you want to stock up for emergency supplies. But for black powder, it ignites extremely well. As a matter of fact, that's what I have right here, and we're going to send some lead down range. So I got the homemade gunpowder. I'll have the cast lead bullets that I'll be using, 150 grain, and then I will make my own primers, and it comes out to a grand total of about 10 cents per shot for 308. Now, I could make that a little bit less or a little bit more, depending on the amount of gunpowder that I actually put inside of these cartridges, but I will just kind of let you guys egg on what it is that you feel like doing. If you feel like compressing 70 grains of black powder inside of one of these cartridges, then by all means go for it. I find that with a 220 grain bullet, which is what I'm currently using, 57 grains is that Goldilocks area, and it just seems to be the right spot for proper compression without like really having to force the powder in there. And we also seem to get pretty gosh darn decent power out of these. Today we're shooting it from my Spanish Oviedo Mauser, and the reason why I'm using my Oviedo Mauser is because I can disassemble the bolt without any tools whatsoever, which would make cleaning a lot easier. And this is black powder, which is corrosive, so you definitely want to clean it. Now, I have made videos of me talking about how I make my black powder, and if you're interested in that, I got a whole video series about me trying all sorts of stuff. It's a mix of all sorts of different things in terms of the black powder composition. For the most part, it is made with activated charcoal, which I just bought off the internet, which does not serve itself all that well to gunpowder making, but it's cheap and convenient, and I was able to get a bunch of it for not a lot of money. So I am going to go ahead and send one of these pills downrange. This is my 57 grain charge, which is what I have the most of. And I'm just going to shoot at, oh, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be shooting at, and you guys aren't going to see it anyway. The sun is like right there, so if I turn the camera down the range, you guys are just going to be seeing nothing but glare. So all you guys are going to be able to see is me actually fire this rifle, and I see an old, what looks like propane tank right there. And she has definitely been shot. Oh, that is black powder smoke, all right. But yeah, there we go. That was a black powder round of 308 220 grain. And even with that 220 grain, I think I paid like 15 cents for the bullets for these. Now granted, going to be much less once I start casting them, but that's still not very expensive. These particular rounds, I think the calculation price came out to about 15 cents a shot for these rounds that I'm using here with off-the-shelf bullets. Now, molding your own bullets, got another 57 grain here. Molding your own bullets is a little bit more on the trivial side as far as I'm concerned. I'm not entirely sure if I'll do that like wholeheartedly and completely through the entire process, because it's to the point to where the cost savings from not having to spend a bunch of money on the powder and primers, like that cost saving kind of justifies spending 15 cents per shot for those bullets as opposed to molding them for I think about half that cost, which would just take a tremendous amount of time unless you have a significant bullet mold. Okay, come on, baby. I think I've got a little bit of fouling starting to pop up on my extractor here, so the cases aren't quite clipping onto the extractor as effectively as they normally would. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot the propane tank again because it's right there, and it's honestly kind of asking for it. It's looking at me wrong, so here we go. Aha! I got that bad boy. Whew, definitely got plenty of smoke out here. Such is the downside of black powder. There is just smoke from the powder absolutely everywhere. Definitely a lot more than that of smokeless powder. Almost like smokeless powder is named smokeless powder because it is in fact smokeless. Alright, just for funsies, this rifle does not stabilize 220 grain bullets very well, so we do have issues with tumbling. I did not know that whenever I loaded these and brought this rifle out, but you know what, just for funsies, I'm going to go ahead and shoot at something a little bit farther out. We're gonna see if we hit it. I doubt it, but we're gonna see if we hit it. Oh god, you guys didn't see that. The magazine on this old Mauser is a little on the worn out side. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right. I'm gonna shoot at whatever that is down there. I literally can't even see it myself. The sun is just in the absolute worst possible spot for making gun videos. Well, it got knocked down, so that tells me that we hit it. It looks like another old propane tank out there. What is it with people in the wilderness and shooting at propane tanks? All right, now as I shoot this thing more and more, I will eventually have to clean it because black powder does have issues with black powder fouling, and that will increase the pressures more and more and more, and it will also decrease the accuracy that you're going to get. Not that it matters much on this rifle because we are keyholing. You know what? I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. I'm going to shoot that propane tank again. Let's grab ourselves a couple of rounds here. I got 57, 54, what are you? And also 57, so that's good enough for what it is that we're going to be doing here. I don't think I've ever cycled a black powder gun like this before, but we're going to cycle this basically because I feel like it would be fun. So, bang, shot that thing. Come on, you. And let's hit it again. Nice. All right, this is actually pretty fun. Not bad for what, the 15 cents or so that I spent on these cartridges. Yeah, okay, well, we're hitting our targets. I'm shooting things at about, well, that thing's propane tank number one's about 15 yards away. We got a tire about 25 yards away and another propane tank about 40 yards away. So I think I hit them all. Even if I missed one or two shots, who cares? It's very inexpensive to shoot these things with my homemade powder. All right, well, that is a solid win as far as I'm concerned. I think this video has gone on long enough. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. The reason why I'm looking down is because I'm looking for my brass, and those are very hot. Thanks for watching. I think I already said everything I need to say for the outro, so I'll see you guys on the next episode. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.